Well, players making their way now down the tunnel for this second match of this semi-final between Team Switzerland and Team Belgium. There is Stan Wawrinka leading the way. Magnus Norman in next to him, his coach. What a team they've been. And what a performance by the 40-year-old for Team Switzerland to help lead them through to a semi-final here of the United Cup. They've obviously arrived over from Perth and they have the lead here courtesy of that epic first match. Now, this is what the matchup is here today. Stan Wawrinka taking on Zizou Bergs, who has been here in Sydney the entire tournament and played particularly well too. He's walking down his coach, Jan de Witt. Temperatures here today on the toasty side in Sydney. And for Stan Wawrinka, well, he's done a lot of work already. He's been courtside almost the entire match. And here they come. They're about to make their way out onto Ken Rosal Arena.
Tennis fans, it is time for the next match here, the United Cup for semi-finals. Can you please welcome this first player representing Switzerland, Stan Wawrinka. And their opponent, please welcome representing Belgium, Zizou Bergs.
So both men making their way out onto court. Todd Woodbridge leading the coverage for this match here today. And it's a big welcome to Tim Henman, who's my sidekick today, all the way from Perth. And welcome to you, Tim. We've done some hard yards and a bit of travel to get here.
Yeah, that's right. I loved being in Perth, my first visit as captain of Team GB, and we had a lot of fun. We had a good win, but couldn't quite make it through here to Sydney. But great to be alongside you, and very excited about this matchup that we've got coming up.
Well, obviously, I've been here in Sydney for the group stages of the Cup. You've been over in Perth. You've been on court and in the commentary box, and you've been able to watch a fair bit of Stan. Just give us a view of his form and what he's been able to do as the captain as well of Team Switzerland. Yeah,
it's been brilliant, and I've always said to these older players, dare I say, while you still have the hunger and desire to keep putting in the hard yards, you should keep playing. And I think it's fantastic to see not only the way that he's been playing, but you know, his attitude. And he's talked about this being his last year on tour, and certainly it is a real pleasure and a privilege to get the opportunity to seeing this great champion out on the court. And in the context of today, it's not easy sitting courtside for pretty much 3 hours and then be expected to come out. He'll be keen to get those feet working early.
Alright guys, so for the match, 3 tiebreak sets, 6 balls, 7-9 ball chains, net missing for the serve. 25 seconds, they start automatically. For your towels, there are the boxes here. On this side, there are the runners, and from this side, they can bring you the towels if you want, okay? From this side. Any questions before we start? Okay, after the toss, some photos over there with Mason, and then just the two of you as well. Okay, Mason, who is going to choose? Stan or Zizou? Okay, you choose. What would you like to choose? AO or Mark Edmondson?
Mark.
Mark, okay, go for it. Very nice. It's AO?
Receive.
Receive? Stay? Okay. Mason, come here for some photos, please.
So there we have the coin toss that is done. And we chatted a little bit about Stan Wawrinka and the man he's taking on today on the left there, Zizou Bergs. He's had a really good tournament. He's found some form, lost his opening match to Zhang of China after having some opportunities in that one, but at the very end of it, Zhang playing superb tennis. And that's the beauty of this tournament, is that you may get the loss in a normal week. You have to scratch your head, go back to the practice court, but within this, you get more chances to get back out and test that form, and he has found it and led his team here to this semi-final. But let's take a look at the bio of Stan Wawrinka. 40 years of age now, and it has been a stunning career. The fact he's still out here playing and having that want to be doing that hard work that you talked about, Tim, is quite incredible. Of course, a career high of number 3 in the world back in 2014, and then that was when the big guns were out there.
Yeah, most definitely. It was interesting to talk to him in the studio yesterday and how he really didn't perhaps believe that he could win a Grand Slam, but he kept putting in the work. He kept trying to improve each and every day, and for him to achieve that Grand Slam success at the age of 29, it I think is a great message for other people that these things don't happen overnight, but for them to be out on the court now 11 years later still playing some top-class tennis, it's magnificent to see.
Well, from a man that has hit the heights with 3 Grand Slam titles to a man that's just starting to come into his own in the tour, and that, of course, is Zizou Bergs, 26 years of age, his current ranking 42, career high of 39. But what he's delivered in these opening few matches of this season, it looks like he can go a bit higher than that. He's got a dynamic game. Of course, he lost that first match to Zhang, then beat Auger Aliassime, and then that was the best win of his career, in fact, at number 5 in the world. Then another top 20 win over Menchik in that quarter-final.
Yeah, and certainly when I've seen him play during this event, his highest ranking of 39 is somewhat surprising.
Well, we're going to go down and have a chat to the team captain of Belgium, Christopher Heyman. Welcome to you. Todd Woodbridge and Tim Henman in the booth here today. And it's a quick turnaround for Zizou to come out, and probably for you guys, it's such a tough match, and you've got to keep your attitude and positivity up.
Very true, yeah. It's been a real battle with Elise. I'm still getting over that one, but I don't have much time, as you said, so I'm trying to bring the energy now and have faith in Zizou. He's ready. He's done some good work with his coach here. They prepped really well, and they're ready to go. We are ready to go.
And when you talk about that preparation, playing Stan Wawrinka, what are going to be the keys for you to come out on top in this singles?
Listen, Zizou has a very good A game. You know, it's, as you said, it's dynamic. It's got that aggressive game. So we're going to go with that. We're going to have him play his own game and bring the pressure to Stan, and let's see what happens.
And just finally, I mean, it's going to be a tough one out there today. Just talk us through the weather conditions. You've been sitting there for 3 hours. What's it like for the players out on court?
To be honest, Elise didn't say much about it. We've got pretty good conditions down here, to be honest. We have the ice towels, we've got the fans, so the fans giving us some air, so it feels okay. To be honest, I was expecting a little hotter, and Elise didn't complain, so we're good. We're good.
Good. No complaints is a good thing. We wish you the best of luck. Thank you for joining us, Christopher.
Good luck.
Welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Well, that's the beauty of having the roof here on Ken Rosewall Arena.
Yeah, that's right. I think when you and I were making our way up to the commentary box, we felt like it was pretty...
It was an oven, it
was pretty warm, but good to hear that there's a little bit of airflow. They've certainly got the ice towels and...
Well, have a look at that. The temperature currently at 40 degrees out here in Western Sydney. The wind isn't going to play a part. The humidity is low, so that's actually a good thing. The humidity in Sydney can get up quite high. And when you have those two factors together, they can be very draining out on court. So that's some sort of a blessing for the players today. Yeah,
most definitely. Having made my first visit to Perth, I obviously am able to understand and appreciate how Perth is a lot of drier heat, whereas you come here, the humidity is significantly more, and that is always the big challenge to these players.
Well, with the warm-up almost done, can Bergs come up with another big victory? He plays so well when he's playing for his country. Back in September here on this very court, he led Belgium to a victory over Australia in the Davis Cup competition. No small feat in itself with the history that the Australian team have and the passion that they bring. But it was described this week, put a flag on his back, it becomes a cape. He's like a superhero.
Yeah, and I think this is where the team benches in the United Cup really play an important part for Bergs to really keep his mind focused, because there's no doubt the athletic ability and the technical skills are there, but sometimes perhaps the concentration wavers, but his team can keep him focused, and it's going to be very interesting to see how both players adapt today.
Well, adapting is going to be the key word for Stan Wawrinka. Having travelled from Perth, there's been the time change. We've talked just then about the conditions. 40 years of age, not as easy to recover as it once was.
Team Belgium to serve.
But here we go.
Play.
Second match. Bergs to serve for Team Belgium.
15 love.
And an opportune time just to welcome Wally Masur, who's sitting courtside. Welcome to you, Wally, and
30 love.
very much looking forward to what Stan can bring.
Oh yeah,
today.
Look, have been a fan of Stan throughout the course of his career, not just for his game style and the way he plays, but he's slightly irreverent. I mean, he certainly respected the very best players in the world, but he wasn't beaten by reputation before he stepped out. He was kind of an abrasive character on court, great to watch. One of the sweetest single-handed backhands you'll ever see.
40 love.
And hasn't he thrived in this team atmosphere? Sort of looking through his results in 2025, he's not afraid to dip back and play the lesser events. But he has lit it up so far in the United Cup.
Pretty special opening service game. Second serve ace from Bergs to get it
First game.
on the board. And were you surprised, Tim, by how long Stan stayed out there? I know he's the captain, but obviously there was not a great warm-up, as hot as it is. It was a different type of preparation.
Yeah, I was. You know, however, if he hadn't been courtside, he'd probably been sitting in the locker room or, you know, in the gym. So just doing a little bit of a gentle warm-up, but I think this is where experience plays a big part. He's played these big matches many times. He'll be conscious that he needs to get the footwork going, but he'd like to think it's not going to have an adverse effect on his performance.
Stan Wawrinka representing Team Switzerland.
And let's be honest, most important thing, Belinda Bencic got the W.
Yeah, it's nice to see that beautiful one-handed backhand in action. Not many of them on tour anymore.
A little while ago, I looked at the one-handed backhands, went back to the year 2000, and I think in the top 50 at that stage, there were about 29 one-handed backhands. Now in the top 100, I think there are 6.
Just wonder whether, if you had your time again, Tim, Wally, you can give your opinion too. Would you go and have started with 2 hands, kept a single slice?
I just think a lot of it has to do with the conditions. You know, when the ball was, you know, coming through lower and quicker, I think, you know, the one-hander perhaps could have been an advantage, certainly with the slice backhand. Now, when you see the ball rearing up and getting above shoulder high, I think getting that left-handed involved for the right-hander.
Yeah, I'd agree with Tim. I think for the return, it's got to be an advantage, just the strength above your shoulder. And Roger Federer at times when he played Rafa on clay probably thought, I wish I had 2 hands on the racket dealing with that forehand. But if I'd look at Andy, who had a brilliant double-handed backhand, and then he could utilise the slice, that for me is probably the key too, to be able to have that other element to your backhand.
40-30. Game from Switzerland.
For Switzerland, level at 1-all.
1 game all.
Todd, do you think we should ask Wally who the one-handed backhands are in the top 100, or is that a bit unfair?
That's a question without time to think. Go, Wal.
I'm just having a little trouble with my microphone, but I'll get back to you. Get back to you shortly.
Right, give me the answer. Are you able to?
I was just having a look down. Lorenzo Musetti is the highest ranked player with a one-handed backhand at number 7.
No, there's nothing wrong with the Wawrinka ball striking in that rally.
Love 15.
When you see Wawrinka taking the ball on, you feel there's no sort of safe zone. You can really step in, plant that right foot, turn the shoulder, drive the backhand down the line.
I just love the way Stan produces his power. I mean, he's a solid boy. He's very strong through the core. He just plants. You look at a lot of the players, it's sort of unbelievable racket head speed, and they're tall with those long levers. But Stan, it looks effortless. And you notice in that slow motion shot, his head is absolutely rock solid through impact. Tim, you seem to have stalled at number 7 on the single-handed backhands.
It sounds like your microphone's working better, Wal, so I just wondered whether you wanted to contribute. I'll go again.
Yeah, no,
Shapovalov, I think, is the next
Dennis,
one.
Yep.
Dennis gives it a rip with that lefty one-handed backhand. Tsitsipas was in Perth. He's got the one-hander.
Well, unlucky for Bergs, the net court certainly didn't help, and we've got the first break points of the match.
15-14.
Now, boys, you two would appreciate that return, wouldn't you, from Stan? That ability just to block the ball back, to get himself in the point right there. I love that. He does it so well off both sides. A lot of returners these days, they take pretty big cuts. Stan has that ability just to make balls, to build pressure.
At the end of 20 minutes.
30-14.
One saved. Beautifully done on the forehand side. Bergs taking his time. Defensive forehand from Wawrinka, and then driving this inside-out forehand right into the corner.
Advantage, Team Belgium.
I think that's the right shot from Wawrinka. If it's there to be hit, he's got to take it on, but just pulled that forehand wide.
Game, Team Belgium.
So 2 break points
Team
survived,
Belgium
and
leads by 2
Team
games to
Belgium
1.
remain on serve. 2-1 in the opening set. So you're going to need plenty of that today. The ice towels, hydration, hugely important.
Constantin. They already melt this one. This one is melt already.
The ice is gone. It's not going to last long at 40 degrees.
Ice that one. Yes? No, wet is okay, but this one was supposed to be super hard.
Early stages of this men's singles here in this first of the semi-finals today at the United Cup for 2026. Of course, later on this evening, Team Poland will be taking on Team USA.
Todd, there was a graphic earlier where the temperature outside is 43 degrees, but only 23% humidity outside. Under this dome, I think you can double that. It creates its own little microclimate in here with the fans. Definitely feels oppressive.
No, beautiful. Shoelace volley, impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen this
Lovely.
throughout the tournament, that Bergs is not scared in coming forward. Wawrinka wouldn't have been too disappointed with that passing shot, keeping the ball low, but beautifully controlled.
$15 all. $15-30.
And what Bergs has done so well is he's stayed aggressive and he's stayed up on the baseline and no hesitation when he's hit a big ball. He's followed it in. If he misses a volley or two, that's okay. He hasn't backed away from that. Until perhaps it's got close to the very end of the match and just gets a little tentative then. But there it is again. As soon as he knew that he had Wawrinka having to hit the single-handed slice.
Yeah, it's a perfectly played point. Deep return. Got the opportunity on the forehand, and as you say, recognised he's a long way back here, but he recognised that Wawrinka's going to go to the slice, moves forward quickly, really executes that volley beautifully.
So, 2 break points this time for Zizou Bergs. And he gets it.
Game, Team Belgium.
And Todd, you talk about the court position of Bergs and his aggression. Well, against Felix, and Felix, of course, known for his big forehand, the dominant forehand, Bergs' speed on the backhand was the same as the speed of Felix's forehand throughout the course of the match, 128 kilometres as an average. So it just sort of highlights the power this young man has off both wings.
Love 15.
Again, moving forward, and that approach shot on the forehand right on the back edge of the line.
To 15.
That serve right there might be the argument for two hands on return on the backhand side. Just getting it above shoulder height. I mean, Stan does a great job with the block return. But that's awkward for a single-hander to hit that with any sort of authority. Bergs once again moving forward. He's got crisp volleys. He holds that follow through beautifully to the target.
And it's an impressive start now for Team Belgium. Consolidates the break of serve comfortably. Bergs leads 4-1. Had a good chat to him after his victory in his last match, and it was where Zizou had trouble finishing things off, and he was he didn't sugarcoat anything, Jan, in the conversation we had, and he said he has to get better at this. It's no good. And I'm saying, well, actually it was a good effort mentally to recover from having lost the first match and be put in the situation again and then win.
Yeah, definitely, and the more times you can put yourself in that situation, potentially the better you're going to deal with it.
And what really stood out in the conversation I had with Jan de Wit about his last match, where he did struggle to finish things off, was actually, we've already seen how aggressive he can play and the speed he plays and where his court positioning is. When he gets a little tight, he really drops the speed on his ground strokes, and then that causes him to sit back a little deeper in the court, get pushed back by his opponent. And it's something they're very aware of, and something that if, I think, this season he can bite the bullet and say, I'm not going to do it when I'm tight, I think we'll see him win a lot more matches.
Look, nervous tension is human nature. It's a good thing, but the challenge is how you deal with that. And the best way to deal that is just to be consumed by the process, the way that you want to play each and every point and not think about the outcome. And that's obviously easier said than done, but he's certainly done a great job in these first 5 games.
So Wawrinka trailing 1-4 in this opening set.
15 love.
I think a week like this, Todd, goes a long way for Bergs to sort of dispelling those sort of doubts. You've got to remember, even though he lost that match against Zhang, he was 0 for 11 on break points. And yes, he did tighten up a little bit in the final stages against Mensik, but he prevailed, defeated Aliassime. It's just confidence in the bank.
15 all.
And Wally, when you see this quality of tennis, are you surprised that his career high ranking is number 39?
Oh, look, absolutely. But he's in the ascendancy, isn't he? And we're just starting to see what he's capable of. The thing for me is he played lights out against Aliassime. And I wasn't sure he could replicate that in the next match. Everyone has a high and then they have a low, they come down a little bit. But the first set against Mensik, he was nearly unplayable. And I'm starting to think, well, you know, part of being a good pro is that your worst match starts to catch up with your best match. So we've seen the blue sky for Zizou Bergs. He keeps working hard. His worst match won't be too bad. He's definitely a top 20 player in the foreseeable future if he keeps this up.
Forty 30. Game Team Switzerland. Team Belgium leads by 4 games to 2.
Another hold for Stan. Just thinking about Stan and what he's done in the game and, you know, that motivation. One of the key things when you watch him now at 40 years of age is when the ball is there, the ball striking and the pace it's big. But the bigger problem he has is the movement in and out of the corner. So that recovery from a shot where he's been extended. And of course, I'm trying to think back to retirement and what it felt like when you started to sort of doubt yourself. And it's been incredible for me that he hasn't actually gone down that road of, oh, well, if I can't, you know, be what I used to be, and I still want to stay out here.
30 love.
Yeah, and the reality is that you know, Stan is ranked 156 in the world. He hasn't had the results, but he still obviously has the enjoyment and the passion and the desire to keep working hard. So I think his expectations have changed.
A beautiful block return there. He was awarded an Australian Open wildcard yesterday, which is good to see. Former champion has that opportunity, and he's said, he almost said goodbye a year or so ago, but he's kept playing, and I'm not sure he would have got it had he have not played so well over in Perth. That certainly helped make a decision for the tournament organisers at the AO.
Again, using that block return of Wawrinka, just getting the ball back deep. Unforced error from Bergs. 30 love, back to 30 all.
That's the one I'm talking about there. Did so well to keep himself in the rally, and then a little bit of a lunge towards that backhand as opposed to an extra step.
Yeah, perhaps the footwork wasn't quite as sharp from Wawrinka, but that was a disappointing miss. It got back into the rally. It was a rallying shot that he was just looking to chip the ball deep. Just overcooked it. Game point for a 5-2 lead. Again, you're looking to use the serve and volley there, Bergs. Recognises that Wawrinka's probably going to chip that return back.
Yes.
Tim, I sometimes wonder whether he's about to serve volley or whether he's just chasing a bad ball toss. At times, he throws the ball well out in front. He can finish 3 and 4 steps in the court on that first serve. The second serve is much more above his head and body under the ball. But if there's one thing I look at from a technical point with Bergs, it would just be that first serve. His margins. Nicely done there, good first pickup. But at times he will miss by big margins because that ball toss just gets way out in front. He can't get enough spin and it's awfully flat. The pace is there, just not the placement and consistency.
Yeah, first serve percentage at 58%. What would he be looking for? Well, probably up at 65, yeah, ideally.
58's good. I think 65 you could strive for it. He's got a nice motion. Better ball toss right there.
And uses the drop shot effectively. And Bergs a game away from taking this first set. He leads 5-2.
Team Belgium leads by 5 games to 2.
Well, Tim, you've had a lot of success in the harbour city here in Sydney. It was your first title at White City, not too far away from where these planes take off in Rose Bay, because that was Rushcutters Bay. But this is just some of the views around the harbour and the transportation that can get you from plane to boat to ferry, trains on the edges. It's pretty beautiful, isn't it? Coastline of New South Wales. If you love surfing, fishing, it's all there for you. Well, a little west of the harbour, you come out to Sydney Olympic Park, the home of the 2000 Olympic Games. What a success that was, and so many of the venues still in use today, including the tennis venue, which has since been named the Ken Rosewell Arena for one of Australia's greatest ever champions. Ken, of course, coming from Sydney. He grew up playing the Illawarra Tennis Club, which is one of the southern suburbs not too far away from the airport near Botany Bay. With Azaraki Moore in the chair, just a request from Zizou Bergs, who once again has started very well in this match. That's Stan Wawrinka serving to stay in the set at 2-5 rather.
$15 left.
Absolutely textbook on the backhand side from Wawrinka. Early preparation, plants the right foot, head still, acceleration on this backhand.
40 love.
Isn't it great when you see a player who's technically so sound and then they just have complete trust in the shot? There's just no hesitation whatsoever. And the thing that I've always looked at Stan, and I looked at his game, and it seems so teachable. There's nothing extravagant about what he does. It's all technically sound and quite simple.
Game, Team Switzerland. Team Belgium leads by 5 games to 3.
Well, that's how you get longevity, isn't it, Wally? If you've got good technique, there's less issues for shoulders, elbows, all those key joints. But now here comes a test for Zizou Bergs. See whether he can serve out this opening set at 5-3.
There's a deceleration from Bergs. We haven't seen a lot of that lately. Just being forced onto the back foot. Stan just changing the flight.
Very different position on that second serve.
And that's a nice change-up, isn't it? When your opponent drops so far behind the baseline to return, it does give you plenty of time to position yourself at the net. Shows he's thinking clearly.
They drop back again on this forehand side, though. Now he's going to stay up. He's actually going to get closer.
Decent second serve going into the forehand side, but Wawrinka will be disappointed he didn't make his opponent play. It has been a challenge for Wawrinka breaking serve in this event.
I find it interesting. I mean, it's good to move backwards and forwards, change the visual, but sometimes when I watch the players, I think it's too extravagant. They go too far back or they're too aggressive. Just a bit more moderation. Saw it a little bit with the Demon last night in his match against Hologic.
Well, those 3 consecutive misses on the return have delivered 2 set points. And a big body serve sets up the put away on the forehand, and that's an impressive set from Zizou Bergs. In just 34 minutes, he takes it by 6 games to 3. Let's have a look at the set summary there, and gee, Stan did well to be hanging on just to 1 break with a 38% of first serves into play, and that's
not ideal, giving too many looks for your opponents on your second serve. Bergs' first serve percentage strip did drop a little bit down at 53, but when he got the breakpoint opportunity, he took it.
Well, it was also his ability to keep coming forward. That put pressure on Wawrinka quite often here. Anything short, he didn't hesitate, and he was sharp at net.
Yeah, absolutely. Bergs coming forward 9 times in that set and winning 7 of the points. That is a good return on investment.
So mixing up beautifully in that opening set. Well, it hasn't been an easy road for Zizou Bergs. It's been one of working hard and resilience to find his way to this point in his career. And a team effort from him and his family. But interestingly enough, Zizou Bergs brings quite a bit of confidence. He's had a bit of fun leading Team Belgium this week, whether it be in the diary room, being interviewed, twerking, the honesty. He's been very honest in the on-court interviews about his performances. It's been quite refreshing to hear somebody say, yep, got tight, got to deal with that. That's what he did in a couple of those interviews. But each match he's come out and he's got better and better.
It's funny, just sat here last night watching Alex de Minaur, and Alex has talked about his desire to bulk up, to get a little stronger, to put weight on. You know, Alex came onto the tour probably 68 kilos. And I'm looking at Stan here, and he's obviously a very different build. I mean, he's very strong, and you almost get the feeling that the amount of tennis and training that he does keeps his weight down, so he's almost like a boxer making weight. And, you know, you kind of get the feeling that when he does retire and take it easy, it'll be a pretty solid chap if he doesn't keep training. So that easy power, there's really no substitute for it in tennis. He doesn't have to strive.
No cheese fondue for Stan, is that what you're saying?
Well, you know, possibly. But so many tennis players these days, they're lean, but he is... he's built more like a rugby league player. He is solid.
40 love. T15.
Didn't miss by much. Probably didn't need to be quite so close to the line for that to be a winner from Wawrinka, but all is not lost at 40-15.
Well, much better hold of serve, and Team Switzerland get that opening game. Well, I got a text message not long ago from another Australian Open champion, Thomas Johansson, who's watching our coverage. G'day, Tompa, as we call him. And he was questioning the court position of the return of Stan Wawrinka. And we've got a graphic here that will just sort of expose the positioning of that. Talk us through it, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. We can see the yellow balls are the points that Wawrinka's won on second serve returns. The red are the ones that he's lost, and there just doesn't seem to be a middle ground. Wally talked about it. The majority of the time is looking to take it very, very early, and then a couple of times he's dropped way behind the baseline, 6 meters behind the baseline. So you're giving up a lot of court to your opponent, and you just wonder whether he could perhaps find a little bit of middle ground. Hasn't created too many opportunities, and when he does get a look at second serve, Wawrinka's got to take advantage.
And just have a look at that weather condition there. It has now reached 43 degrees out here in Western Sydney. It'd be almost impossible to play out here today if we didn't have this covering over Ken Rosal Arena. Just be too brutal.
You'd suggest, Todd, without this dome, this roof, the heat rule would be in effect. We would barely play any tennis today from this moment on.
Well, I would have thought so, not until the temperature dropped. But of course, you know, it's hot in there. You can attest to that, but it's not like having that direct sunlight.
Ball. Out.
30-15.
Out.
30-all.
That's a poor miss.
40-30.
Wawrinka did very well to get the first serve back into play at 212 kilometers an hour. He's neutralized, he's established himself in the rally, and just rolls that forehand into the net. Frustrated with that.
Good hustle from Wawrinka, but not enough to get the job done, and that's a holder serve.
1 game all.
Just looking back at the top 20 wins by Zizou Bergs over his career, there's not many of them. And coming into this week, there were only 2. And they were both last season. He beat Andrei Rublev, who was ranked 9 in the world in Miami. Then he had a win over Casper Ruud in Shanghai towards the end of the season. Casper ranked 12 at that point. And then he's beaten Felix Auger-Aliassime, number 5, and Jakub Menchik, who's 18, throughout this tournament. So he's still gathering that true self-belief. But this week, though, is really going to add to that.
Love 15.
Yeah, most definitely, and it's probably a reflection that he had a good off-season, put in some hard yards, whether it was on the practice court, in the gym. In a strong position right now. Upper set, love 15. Looking to apply more pressure to the Wawrinka serve.
15-all.
Regardless of Stan's ranking, it's still a nice scalp to have on your resume if you could beat someone of his stature in our sport.
30-15.
Well, conversely too, Todd, I don't think Bergs is playing quite as freely today as he has in other matches, because it's almost like there's a lot to lose. He is ranked 156. He is 40 years old. You are expected to step up and beat him. Not necessarily a free swing as when you're playing a big name at the height of their career.
$40-15. Game Team Switzerland.
So Stan hangs on, and we're on serve in the second. Team Belgium having
Team
taken
Switzerland
the
leads by
first
2
2-1.
games to 1.
Okay, have a look at that. Explain that to me, Tim. That, of course, is Hubert Hurkacz. He's warming up. He'll be back in action again this evening against Taylor Fritz.
Time.
Training the eye, the nervous system. What is it?
I have no idea.
That looks like me trying to get out of the pub after a late night. Where's the door? I've seen the players are doing a lot of that. I saw Casper Ruud catching balls with a patch over one eye, so he had to try to catch the balls in his periphery with either eye shut, basically. I've seen Iga Świątek doing something very similar, so there must be some new theory that it helps you pick up the ball earlier, potentially. And is your routine when you're lining up a short putt somewhat similar, isn't it?
That's an uncomfortable scenario for me.
Love.
Well, as good as the one-handed backhand of Wawrinka is, if you don't get over to it and behind it, it's still very hard to make a passing shot. That's, again, where it's easier with the two hands. Right there, just half a step behind, being able to hit it as clean as he would have liked.
Yeah, the reality is, if you probably wound the tape back a few years when Stan was in his prime, when he had to get to that wide ball, he probably almost finished past the point of contact. Such would be the commitment. Now it's that one big step and basically reaching for the ball, body weight not behind it. That's that half step that he's probably lost over the years.
30,
but when he's set
15.
and he can stand and deliver, it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, and when you're not quite in position, it's almost as if the ball is playing you rather than you getting across there and stepping in and playing the ball. Such fine margins.
Ooh. Well, that was a bit of poor judgment. Didn't have the right eye on this one, as we like to say. Comes off the top of the frame, so a little difficult to judge the speed of it, but it falls well in.
40-30.
Continues with the serve volley, though.
I like that, though, Todd. You know, he did come in and miss one volley previously, but he's been pretty successful at the net. But sometimes, you know, the modern-day player, they'll serve volley, they'll miss the volley, and they won't come in for another half hour. But, you know, you don't win every point at the back either. You're not going to win every point at the net. But to evolve as a player, I mean, this is worthwhile for Bergs.
Yeah, totally agree with you, Wally. And a lot of players, when they're trying to implement the serve and volley, they do it when they're up a break and 40 love. Whereas Bergs has been doing it in some important moments. At 30 all there. Got the missed return, backed it up with another heavy first serve.
Yeah, I just work with a few young players here in Australia, and I just find it interesting. You try to encourage them to go forward, and they'll lose 1 point and look at you like, you know, what the heck? But it's like, well, no, you're not going to win every point when you go forward, but it's worth exploring.
Well, there's also the building pressure on the scoreline that does too.
Yeah, and that was another example of an opportunity to move forward, and I think Bergs didn't overplay the approach shot because he knew Wawrinka's movements perhaps not as sharp as it once was.
Well, on that occasion, interestingly enough, Bergs was started to be pushed back a little bit, but Wawrinka's had a big bit of trouble trying to do that. That's Wawrinka's average rally point, but take us through Bergs, because it's completely different.
Yeah, we know who's been in control of these baseline points because Bergs has really been up in the court. Average hit point well inside the baseline.
That's taking time away from Wawrinka, isn't it? Making it tougher for him.
Out. 15-30.
Another early strike on that second serve return. Here we can see Bergs. These are the red balls. A good metre inside, nearly a metre inside the baseline, where he's pushing Wawrinka further and further back. More pressure, 15-30.
Ball. Out. 30 all.
Bergs will be very disappointed with that second serve return miss. At the other end of the court, Wawrinka has to make more first serves. He's at 36% in this set and only 37% of first serves for the whole match.
Clever little change up with the slice, bringing Wawrinka forward there. So break point.
Bergs only had one break point in the first set. He took it. Can he take this one to be up a set and a break?
Ball.
Belinda Bencic just prior was motioning with her hands to stand. She was two hands lifting them up, whether she's suggesting more leg drive, higher ball toss, but there's just no margin on that first serve at the moment. He's just sliding through it. He's not getting up and over it.
Advantage Team Switzerland.
There she is. She's back on the court to support Stan. Big effort by her, defeating Elise Mertens in a tiebreak. 7-love in that third set tiebreak to give Switzerland the 1-love lead. Oh, that's a touch of class.
Game, Team Switzerland.
Beautiful from Wawrinka. Survives the break point and remains on serve in the second. 3-2.
Team Switzerland leads by 3-2.
Well, that was a throwback point of what Wawrinka is capable of and what won him 3 Grand Slams here. The backhand just beautifully absorbing everything that was thrown at it by Bergs. And then the volley, oh, that was as good as it gets, Tim.
Yeah, waiting for the opportunity to move forward, sneaking in and then just cutting across that backhand volley, fading it away. It's only the second time he's come to the net, but showing some lovely touch there.
That was like a young Tim Henman in full flight. Beautiful, the way he carved through that volley.
Not sure I would have made the 5 ground strokes before that, though, Wally.
You would have been in beforehand.
It's a day to drink plenty of fluids here in Sydney. It's stifling hot. Stan Wawrinka, perspiration dripping off him there, and at the same time you've got to put ice around the neck and try to cool that core temperature down.
Time.
Both ends doing the best they can to bring that body temperature back so that they can keep the intensity up in this men's singles in the semi-final of the United Cup for 2026. It's the first of the semis in this day session. Big evening still to come. Team USA to take on Team Poland. Coco Gauff, Iga Swiatek, Taylor Fritz, Hubie Hurkacz. That's a great lineup. But now Berg serving, trailing 2-3, having taken the first set.
Pretty good hands there to redirect the pace, but you know, I'm sitting courtside here, so I'm sort of having a look at the Bergs serve side on, and that's just a well-played half volley. But I believe the great servers, they track the baseline with the ball toss. He throws it well out in front. A couple of serves there. I mean, they're halfway down the net. He just loses shape. Second serve, way better. In terms of having his body under the ball and then launching up and over. I mean, old school was right shoulder around left. Now it's right shoulder over left. But if you throw the ball that far in front, I still think there's some improvement to be had in this service motion. I think it all comes down to the ball toss on that first serve.
Well, good look at the grip and how far up the racket he holds it on serve there. Oh, nice from Wawrinka. And Wally, you've been a good server in your day. When he starts to go off, you see how his hand was sitting up the racket, so the butt of the racket isn't deeper in the hand. When he throws the ball too far forward, he can't get that bit of wrist snap over the ball. And
no, look, I don't know if he's playing with a longer racket than standard, but it is definitely choked up. There's good shape there. But basically, if you know, Ben Shelton, incredible serve. You have a look where he lands. He lands just across the baseline with all that energy going up and over. So the ball's wicked through the air and then wicked off the court. So sometimes in the modern game, you can serve at 210, but if it's in the slot, it comes back at 211. So, yeah, for me, it's just, it's such a minor thing. It's just bringing the ball toss back a fraction on that first serve.
Game, Team Belgium.
Gee, that's reminiscent of a Tim Henman there.
It's nice to see some serve and volley. We don't see it very often, but I think it's very good recognition from Bergs that Stan Wawrinka likes that block return. It's going to give you time to get into the net and Hopefully knock off those volleys, but good hold again. Pressure back on Wawrinka.
Gee, that was fantastic defence from Bergs.
I was just going to say, Todd, slightly different footwork from Bergs at end range, wasn't it? Getting the full face of the racket to the ball. And how clever was that final little chip? Because he knew if he floated it, he's in trouble, but he digs it short inside the service box.
A nice little change up, slow kick serve.
40-15.
I think Bergs, that was edge of the line. I think Bergs' coach would be a little disappointed, though, with the two previous points. There was an unusual mid-court chip out of the blue, and then that approach, I mean, for the double-hander, very makeable. I mean, given the stage of the match and a love 15 situation. We're talking about Bergs taking the next step in terms of rankings.
New balls, please.
Those points matter.
They certainly do. 4-3 now. Switzerland lead.
By 4-3.
Well, Stan Wawrinka doing a good job here just to sort of keep himself in it. He's playing some good tennis. He's been pressured by Zizou Bergs here today. Been a long day for the playing captain. He was sitting courtside for nearly 3 hours watching the women's singles and then ran back up the tunnel to the locker room to get himself prepped for this. As warm as it is, it didn't really need a warm-up, Tim, but not the usual preparation.
No, definitely not. And Wawrinka's done well in this second set just to keep his nose in front. We've talked about Bergs dealing with pressure. A little bit of scoreboard pressure now. Serving 3-4. Going back for a new racket with the new balls.
As he makes his way down to that end of the court, as I mentioned, he's been building this game style. It's not something that is naturally gifted. He's had to work hard for every ranking point. Brings good emotion to the court. And if there's one part, I think that for Bergs that he can keep on improving on is that when he does get the emotion, he's sometimes easy to read in terms of, we know he's in good form here and the body language is strong. Sometimes, though, when he starts to feel a little off, he lets the opponent know a little too early, and whether that be just even with nervous tension.
15-0. Wait, please. Out. 30-15.
Ball just flying. I mean, Stan trying to control the chip. His strings fairly loose tension. It's just such hot air in here. Did you see the margin that Bergs missed that first serve by? That previous point?
One of yours, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was 8 feet. And this is just something I think he can tidy up very easily.
Game Team Belgium.
Still a comfortable hold, though.
4 games on.
So we're at the back end of this set. Crunch time coming for one of these two players. What are we sitting on with Wawrinka's first serve percentage here? Because that is at some point going to start to bite him.
Yeah, 45% for the match.
52 for this set, so it's improving.
He'd like that shot back again. Great deep return, good footwork getting the forehand into play, but disappointed with the execution of that shot.
And this is where we'll keep an eye on if he can keep his speed up both the forehand and backhand. He did it there beautifully. That's Bergs that I'm talking about. That's whether he can maintain the aggression that's got him to this point in the scoreline. I'm not sure he'll see the funny side of it, but Wally, that looked like you moving.
Did he need to make that a forehand?
Yeah, he does see the funny. No, I think it was definitely a backhand, wasn't it?
So he's actually he just gets on the ball of his feet. But no, I mean, his backhand's fine. He's not there. He's hustling to turn that into a forehand, but I think his backhand would have been just fine.
Bit of housekeeping.
Out. 40-15.
Just one more look at this one here. You just see the no grip. Good balance though in the end to maintain not hurting yourself.
40-30.
Excellent recognition from Bergs that his shot was short in the court. Wawrinka was going to have to play the chip from a low position, snuck in, dealt with the volleys well.
But Wawrinka gets the hold once again, and now the pressure is on Bergs to stay in this set. 5-4, the Swiss lead.
Time.
Well, there's that old saying, too many cooks spoil the broth, and that change of ends for Team Switzerland. Belinda Bencic getting into the coaching mode as well.
I think she was saying, you know, when you get the opportunity in the baseline, take it down the line, go for winners. Kind of like what she did.
Yeah, well, there's obviously a good relationship between the both of them, because she lifted it. He left the court for a while and things went sour, came back out, and Belinda got things back on track.
There's these little unforced errors from Bergs that have crept in. Mid-court balls, not much pace. And Stan did make the comment too at end change that I just can't control the return. I can't. The ball is really flying on me. So coach is trying to tell him to stay low, keep his head down over the ball, don't get it on the back foot.
He certainly did well to get that ball back into play, and he would have fancied his chances on that forehand pass. And if he is going to get the break, he's got to come up with that moment of magic, make a shot like that.
Well, he's listened to both pieces of advice at that end change. More positive on return, staying lower, not floating the slice, and then the first opportunity there just pummels a backhand line, which is exactly what Belinda Bencic wanted to see. Takes advice well, Stan.
Credit where credit's due.
30-all.
Bergs just stepped in and ripped that backhand cross court. First opportunity to keep Wawrinka under pressure. Still not out of trouble yet.
Yeah, he's doing a great job there. Those last 2 points,
14,
pushing
13.
Wawrinka into the backhand corner, stretching him.
Pushing Wawrinka, but certainly not pushing the ball.
No.
Still staying aggressive on both forehand and backhand wings. Talked about how sometimes his ball speed can decrease. It certainly hasn't in those 2 points.
Gee, some big forehands from Wawrinka.
Use.
How far back behind the baseline Bergs was. He made Wawrinka play the half volley. Just got enough racket on it.
Advantage, Team Belgium.
Well, a little risky, but a good play.
Yeah, absolutely. He hasn't used the drop shot much, but recognised Wawrinka is a little far behind the baseline, making him move. Wawrinka doing such a good job of moving the ball around the court, keeping Bergs on the defensive, making him do the running.
And we saw that graphic earlier of the court position of the two men, and it was way in favour of Bergs. Not so much these last few games.
Advantage, Team Belgium.
Wawrinka's used the block return on numerous occasions. That time, taking a huge cut at the forehand return.
And two misses there, so tight game. But Bergs hangs on.
Five games all.
So it comes that moment in the set where we've seen Wawrinka lift in that game there. Can he maintain the intensity of the last 10 minutes or so? He's going to have to if he's going to stay in this match. But that is sort of what I'm feeling a little there. There's been a lift and a rate in the work rate, and maybe there's a dip coming.
And it's that swing of the pendulum in terms of pressure. Bergs does so well to hold serve. Now the pressure goes back to Wawrinka. Love 15. Another missed first serve. Well, Bergs looked to be aggressive on this second serve return.
Love 30.
These conditions, the moment you get on the back foot, your head lifts, you take the racket plane up with your body and it just takes off. You just got to be so committed down on the ball, try to get on that front foot.
Oh. You see Bergs at the back of the court banging his head.
15-30.
Well, did he not have enough time to hit the passing shot?
I think he could have stepped in and hit this one. The drop shot was okay. It's making Wawrinka move. This is the one.
He didn't get the lob up high enough, nor quick enough, but he did have a chance to maybe have a good cut at a pass. So 15-30. And that one, oh, it's dropped. It's like your cricket team.
Don't say it, Todd. Catches win matches.
Oh, gee, it's been a rough summer for you, no doubt. For our international viewers that are watching us, of course, the cricket has been on here in Australia, the Ashes. And with that ace, it's kind of like what the Australian team did to the British. Goodness me, England. 4-1, wasn't it, Tim? 4-1?
Don't know what you're talking about, Todd.
Geez, quiet.
Use.
Good return there from Bergs, going firm up the middle, neutralises the serve and then gets the forehand into play, putting Wawrinka under pressure again on serve.
Advantage.
Timely ace.
Team Switzerland.
Hasn't served too many today, Wawrinka.
Just a couple.
Use.
Again, I think emphasis of the conditions. If you don't quite hit your spot on the first serve, it was 201 Ks, but Bergs was onto it, straight back at your feet.
Advantage, Team Switzerland.
But it's a tough game, and he's a tough guy for Wawrinka. Still in this, 6-5, Team Switzerland second set.
6 games to 5.
Well, Taylor Fritz in the gym, having come over from Perth. Been a tough start to the year for him, and in some ways United Cup, the way that the format is, it's given him an opportunity to find form that he didn't start with.
Yeah, that's right. He's certainly got some matches under his belt, and some tough ones at that, but a few concerning signs around his knee. It doesn't look like his movement has been perfect, but hopefully it's an area that's improving.
Stan Wawrinka, he's moving okay, runs out of the team zone as he knows that he can build a bit of scoreline pressure here as Zizou Bergs prepares to serve for the second time to stay in this second set. 5-6.
There's that serve volley again. Stan has shown some signs of wanting to take a pretty good cut at return, but if he blocks it up the middle, that's a very effective play. Meet the ball above net height, makes for an easy volley. Well, I think the conditions are tough. If you're not on the ball in complete control, it is flying. It's hard to defend. But I'd have to say I've covered all of Bergs' matches at the United Cup this year, and today he looks more like he's playing not to lose than playing to win. Feels like he's playing with a little bit of a weight on his shoulders. He was far more extravagant in his previous two matches.
It's a nice change up on the second serve at 181 kilometers an hour, but for a man of Wawrinka's class, you expect him to get that ball back into play.
Well, he's struggled to break serve throughout the entire tournament, hasn't he, Tim? He's into his fourth match, over 50 return games, and broken just once.
Yeah, that's right. It has been problematic, and if you only break serve once in all these matches, it puts enormous pressure on your own serve.
Well, if he's going to stay in it and take it to a third,
6 games all tiebreak.
He's going to have to win the tiebreak. So a regular tiebreak, 7 points. That's what's required. So, Wawrinka to serve.
Team Switzerland.
Happy to report that when Stan wipes the sweat off his face with his shirt, he still has a six-pack at 40 years of age.
I've got one in the fridge.
Stan's carrying his with him.
Such a fine line, isn't it? Because you want Wawrinka to be aggressive when he gets the opportunity, and then just overhits the backhand.
It just seems so easy to do, though, here. Just if everything's not quite right, you don't cover the ball with enough spin, you're not in good position, it just takes off.
Team Switzerland.
Wawrinka will be happy the way he's controlled that return, just blocking it back down to the feet of Berg as he came in. Couldn't control the half volley. The mini break for Wawrinka. First serve percentage at 54 for the match. Wawrinka needs to find some in this tiebreak.
Good absorption there from Bergs of the big hitting of Wawrinka. Gets that mini break back immediately.
Team Switzerland.
You can just almost sense the tension, and each and every point, second serve return. Bergs will be disappointed to have missed that one.
Oh, and that was really a decel into the ball. Body comes up and out of it, and then shanks.
Team Switzerland.
And as they change ends after the first 6 points, Wawrinka with the mini break.
And just sitting here courtside, as I say, to me, the majority of the errors are long, the ball is flying, then you tend to want to maybe push or be careful, and sometimes that can actually exacerbate the problem. What you really need is perfect position and lots of racket head speed to cover the ball with spin. But, yeah, it's definitely tricky out there. Balls are just, it's one of those situations where you block, you look up, and the ball's already over the baseline at the other end of the court. It's just taking off. Just the air so hot inside the stadium, very lively.
Wawrinka's got the mini break. He'll be looking for another one right here.
Now, the smart second serve, that block forehand hasn't been effective at all. The control that Wally's talked about isn't there off that wing on the return for Wawrinka.
And the majority of the time, Bergs has gone with the kick second serve into the backhand side, so keeping Wawrinka honest.
Team Switzerland.
Well, he's found the first serve to go with it in this tiebreak. A pair of aces. He'd only served a pair in 2 sets to this point. And now that one there brings up 3 set points to level for Team Switzerland. And again, that forehand long.
6-4, Team Switzerland.
So one of the 3 saved. There's the signature backhand. And it
second set,
levels it up here in this men's singles. Wawrinka 7-6. One set all. Well, let's take a look at that second set summary and have a look at the improved percentage on first serve from Stan Wawrinka. That's a massive, it's almost doubled it.
Yeah, that's right. First serve percentage in the second set up to 61. Still at 54% for the match, but certainly making more first serves, winning a good percentage of those first serve points at 78. 4 aces, 1 double fault. But still no breakpoint opportunities. That's why Wawrinka needed to get to the tiebreak, but he was the one that found the first serves. A couple of aces, a couple of strong points from the back of the court, and after an hour and 36 minutes, it's a set all.
Very subdued set though from Zizou Bergs. You sort of thought maybe he'd put the foot down having won the first, and there was just some not casual errors, but in each game midway through that set he'd throw in some soft errors. Just didn't apply any real pressure. He'll need to fire up here in the third.
Well, Stan Wawrinka just saying, I still got it. I've still got the fight in me, and it's been a big fight from Team Switzerland today. Belinda Bencic doing a fabulous job of gutsing it out against Elise Mertens. Terrific match from both women. But it meant that Team Switzerland have the upper hand with the 1-love lead. And this was the reaction at the end of that set from Zizou. There, Wally, was the tension that you were talking about.
He's definitely, I guess, you know, Stan is 40, well past his best. Zizou's in the ascendancy, and to me, he's playing not to lose. He's a very animated character on court, or has been throughout the course of this United Cup. But today, we're not seeing any fist pumps. He constantly points towards his player camp. He high fives when he comes in at change of ends. We're seeing none of that. Just needs to lift his emotional state. He respects Stan. Stan is the underdog, but he's got to play to win, not try to nurse a win.
I think this is where also the bench will be very important for Bergs, just to keep him kind of on the straight and narrow, to keep him focused on the next point, the next game, put what's happened behind him. I still believe that he's got the opportunity to come out on top.
Well, to be expected here, both men have just taken a short toilet break, and that'll be to change clothes because they were absolutely saturated. That's the skyline picture here today in Sydney. Not a cloud to be seen. It's quite breezy, and it's 43 degrees out west. Talking about bench, that's Bencic, and she has played brilliantly throughout this United Cup. Could have picked up, I was choking there just a little bit, Tim. Not on my words, but on a nut bar. But
didn't want to interrupt your flow, Todd.
But no. You know, when you talk about what she's been able to do in the game, it's funny. Wally talks and uses that word ascendancy. Well, it would almost seem that this is another ascendancy in her career path at the moment. Been so close, winning Olympic gold medal, but never a major, and then of course now a mum, and has seemed to have come back a little more mature and understanding of her own game since then.
Well, she was in Perth, and I saw her there for well over a week, and she just looks so content both on and off the court. Playing great tennis, working hard, but then still having the perspective of her family life away from that, and the way she has started the year has been incredibly impressive. And when you think about the major tournaments, you wouldn't necessarily be surprised if she went on to win a major, because she has been playing that well.
We'll have a look at the worm here. That was set 1, and then this is set 2, the points 1, and the sequence and patterns and momentum within the set. And the majority of it there leaning towards Wawrinka, 45 points to 42. And let's take another look at that set point. Gone with a serve volley. Brilliant return. He hasn't missed many of those backhands in his career.
So Bergs, in that set, he made 19 unforced errors. He hit 3 winners off the ground. That's the ratio he needs to adjust. Easier said than done. Got to get the feet moving, take extra steps, get in the best possible position, give yourself options, and back yourself. Got to be careful too when you throw your racket. That lands and clips one of the ball kids. You'll get clipped yourself.
Indeed. Now, one of the things that we spoke about was in the rallies, Bergs actually keeping speed up when the end of the set or the end of the match came close. Well, when things were getting close for Stan Wawrinka, have a look at the improvement in forehand speed from the average on the match to what he did in the tiebreak.
Yeah, absolutely. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Wawrinka's stepped up. His team behind him talked about being aggressive, and when he had the opportunity, certainly on the forehand side, he's really upped the ante. And that's a 10% increase in speed. You're normally looking for these fine margins, but that was a significant change.
We'll talk about change. Both men have changed outfits. They've got a dry one for a few minutes at least.
Time.
And Eva Azdaraki Moore calls time. So we're about to get the third set underway. It's a set that man must win to give Team Belgium an opportunity to move through to the final tomorrow.
Very interesting set coming up, because I actually don't think Stan feels that great about his game, having flown in from Perth. He's not comfortable on return. He's said that more than once when he's up with his teammates, just talking about how the ball's taking off on him, that traditional block of his. He's finding it hard to control. I think there's improvement in Stan. I think Bergs is going to have to lift here. He's going to have to take matters into his own hands and be that dominant player that he has been in the past 2 matches.
And Wally, given the choice, you'd rather serve first in this third set?
Always, yeah, absolutely. Break points become set points at the end of the match.
15 love. Love.
No, I really felt that at the end of that second set, there was a very mature and a big effort from Wawrinka to kind of lift his levels. We saw the speed of shot increase. His experience tells him what he has to do if he's going to win that set. But the problem that you face now is having taken that break, is keeping the level of intensity up as you come out here for the beginning of the third. You just can't take a deep breath and go, oh, well done. And it's harder to do, you know, at his age, to maintain that level. Well, that's lifted there, Wally. That's a beautiful shot, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's so pure, isn't it? But, I mean, Stan, in his career at this moment, he's playing with the casino's chips, isn't he? He's done everything there is to achieve in the game. Won Grand Slams, won the Davis Cup as a team event. There is no pressure on his shoulders. He's just trying to find his best game.
Let.
But I think for Bergs, it's a very different case scenario. Obviously, if he loses this match, well, they're done. They're out of the United Cup. And at this stage of their respective careers, it would not be a good loss. And there he is, just throwing the ball toss well out in front. That is a bit of an Achilles heel. Better forehand there, big come on, a few more revolutions on the forehand.
Final set.
He has to play with trust here in the third set, Bergs.
Well, he's got that advantage that you spoke about. He's serving first in this set, so he can try to perhaps now press more on the return games when he comes out with that lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw his frustration at the end of the second set, Bergs, and it's good to see him with that positive body language, getting fired up in his corner.
Come on, baby. Come on.
It's been great to see the team unity here at the United Cup over the last 9 days, and very evident of the teams that really enjoy the process of getting together, having the two tours together, spending time, and perhaps there's a much higher ranked player that others have the chance to mix with that they normally wouldn't on tour. Really noticed that around the Polish team. Chinese team were fantastic here. They had a great time being involved. And you've done double duty over the course of this first week of the year, Tim, being a captain.
Oh, I loved
your
it.
experience?
Yeah, fantastic. And again, that camaraderie, the team spirit was absolutely brilliant.
It's not an easy job, is it? Captaining, in a sense?
Not always, but I think, you know, the way that the whole team bought into the practice, the preparation, our matches. I really couldn't fault their attitude, and gave absolutely 100% at all times, and it's all you can ask for.
Thirty, 15.
And ever since Belinda Bencic told him what to do on serve, he's found the rhythm. There she is. She's been co-coaching.
It's that sprinkling of errors that's hurting him. Just, well, I mentioned that stat, 19 errors unforced in that second set. And there it is again, just that was a pretty wild forehand. He's just not building pressure, is he?
Well, I think the dilemma, Wally, is, you know, do you go bigger on it, which then becomes somewhat, you take more risk, so the percentages become lower, or do you go back and trying to make the ball? And that's probably where he's struggling to make a decision.
I would say, look, you know, play hard court tennis, but with a clay court mentality. Like, work unbelievably hard to get in the best possible position. Play with a few more revolutions. You can't steer. There's Stan actually just slipping ever so slightly.
15 all.
Boys, this service toss is getting further and further in front. I mean, that ball nearly hit the bottom of the net. He's reaching for it.
30-15.
And when he does reach for it, as we pointed out a little earlier, where his hand sits on the grip of the racket when he grips it to serve, it means that he can't get that little bit of extra pronation and snap with the racket head, and so the spin isn't there.
That was better. I mean, he's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa falling into the court, when in reality it should be his left hip that is almost the furthest part of his body into the court, and he's under the ball driving up. Second serve looks fantastic. First serve.
Look at it here. But he finds it at the back end of the service game. And he remains ahead, Zizou Bergs. Team Belgium, 2-1.
Team Belgium leads by 2
Third
games to
set.
1.
Good boy.
Well, just blistering conditions in Sydney, and that's why both of our competitors here, Stan Wawrinka, Zizou Bergs, they need those ice towels today just to keep trying to lower the body temperature.
Time.
Zizou going with a few eye drops to see whether he can focus on the ball that little bit better. But I must say, Wally Masur, who's sitting courtside with us here today, Wally, neither man seems to be too bothered by the temperature. There hasn't been a loss of conditioning to this point, at least. They're coming up towards 2 hours on court.
No, and I guess too, because the conditions are hot and fast, there hasn't been a lot of extended points, so both players have had a little bit of trouble returning. So points have been relatively short. But no, new balls, I actually think it's, to be honest, I think it's actually pretty pleasant for the players.
Let for service. Love.
Well, outside the stadium, it is actually very blustery and quite windy. If we didn't have the roof here, this was always a difficult court to play on in the daytime. A real swirling wind in here in the day. The evenings were really pleasant. It was beautiful, but it was a challenge on hot afternoons. When we have a look at that, it's gusting and not the day to be outdoors.
I don't mind that from Bergo. I mean, he went after it, and I think that's the way forward for him in this match and in his career. But Todd, it's fitting that, you know, it's called the Ken Rosal Arena, so fitting that it has a roof, and it is a sophisticated stadium. And of course, all the slams now have a roof. It's, you know, the demands of television. We can't be not showing live tennis. Whether that be through heat or rain. It's subtle, but better signs from me. Just these last few rallies from Zizou Bergs, just more intent about what he's trying to do. Yes, he clipped the tape, he maybe got a little bit lucky, but I really do think that's the way forward for him in this match.
Deep second serve return. You can see by the hand gestures there from Bergs, he's looking to be aggressive, moving his feet well to get the forehand into play, but just missing his target inside out.
Game, Team Switzerland. 2 games all.
Well, no breaks of serve since the 4th game of that first set when Wawrinka dropped his serve to 15. It's been pretty few and far between since we've seen a lot of pressure built.
Love. Led for service. Ball. 15 all. Out. 30-15.
Kilometers an hour as we reach the 2-hour mark.
Remaining positive with his reactions is Zizou Bergs. It is Team Belgium 3-2, third set, trying to take this to a live mixed doubles. But sort of got a feeling it's building slowly towards a crescendo, Wally, in this third set. Both players just not quite able to keep a run of momentum.
Well, it's so quick out here, Todd. The ball is flying. If both men get their first serve in, just building pressure on return is tough. I mean, Stan barely made a return in that previous game. We've spoken about moderating his return stance. He was very aggressive there, up inside the baseline, almost trying to block serves that are coming down around that 200k mark. So I just feel like whoever can get the return right, get a few quality returns back into play, might just be the difference here. Build a bit of pressure. Just talk about Bergs' first serve hit point. Just an opportunity there to look at the hit point of Bergs' first serve. So we'll have a look at that from side on. You've got to imagine he's got 2 feet behind the baseline, so you can see some of those balls that get right out in front of him. They are yellow. That means they've gone in, but they go in a very linear fashion. There's not a lot of spin on the ball, and they're not the hardest serves to return. Even though the pace might be there, there's not much doing off the court. It's coming through at a nice height. The second serve for me is spot on. I do believe he just needs to bring that first serve hit point back a little in his stance, and you'll get a bit more action on the ball. I believe that will make for a better serve, a more consistent serve in terms of his percentages, and a tougher serve to return.
Well, when you talk about serving, Stan Wawrinka struggled in the opening set in terms of percentage. He's lifted that nicely throughout the match. Can he continue? Got to remember, Tim, at the end of the first set, he was in the 30s in terms of percentage. Now got himself just over 50%. Should be higher than that for a player of his quality, but he continues to go for big serves. 208 there, not rolling it in exactly.
Not rolling the second serve in either. And when you reflect for the challenges of both men, we're midway through the third set. There's only been 4 break points in the whole match. There's only been 1 breaker serve. You just wonder whether there are any other options on the return of serve. Just to give your opponent a different look.
Well, you'd have to say right now, given the scarcity of returns that have been made, just a return inside the court is a good one. Just be determined to get the ball back.
(40-15). Left for service.
Turning offense into defense and getting use of the forehand. Such a better striker of the ball on the forehand here, Bergs, when he stays down through the ball and doesn't flail backwards. When he starts to miss them, he starts to try to get spin by using the upper half of his body, not his legs. And here a bit of pressure for the first time in this third set.
Yeah, he had that easy forehand at 40 love, didn't he, Wawrinka? And he crushed it into the top of the tape. All of a sudden, Bergs has done well to get that first serve back into play, and 40 love becomes deuce.
Oh, I think he had a play on that, but it was a great bit of defence from Wawrinka.
Yeah, and it was a good move from Bergs. He saw that he'd hit an early return down the line. He knows Wawrinka's going to the chip. He's forward. Yeah, definitely had a play on the backhand volley. He's hoped it was going to drift wide, but that's where it landed.
But here's a case in point. He's making returns. And that has to be the way forward for Zizou Bergs. Doesn't have to be an extravagant return. Just get back into the court. Give yourself a chance. Just on that volley, he for sure had a play on that. Took the racket away at the last minute. And at this stage, I think fortune is going to favour the brave. Even if he felt it was going out, he should have gone after that.
A good approach shot. Hurried Wawrinka, who couldn't get set with that planted right foot for the backhand.
Yeah, absolutely, and good recognition. 40 love back to deuce, asking your opponent to hit that tough passing shot. Midway through the third set, not even Stan Wawrinka could find the target there.
Oh, but he finds a big serve at the right time.
Yes.
Okay, Westwood covered a large area. I don't think it's Lee off the tee. Do you know that read, Tim?
I only use audiobooks.
Well, Stan actually volleyed that return. Such was the depth of return, but he found a way to volley it, I thought. And then he jagged that ball that floated on the line. I thought he was going to find a way out of that point, but it wasn't to be. Mishit forehand, break point number 2.
And the longest game of the match.
It's a good game, though, from Bergs. Building pressure. Even if he doesn't get it, take a little something out of Stan at this stage of the match. And there's the ball that flies. It is just unbelievably hard to control the block return at present.
And that was a clever first serve from Wawrinka. It wasn't the fastest serve, but a little bit more shape, getting more width into that ad box. And as you say, Bergs trying to chip it back deep, just overhit it. Another break point saved.
Advantage, Team Switzerland.
I could barely remember an error in the net that's come clean off the racket. I mean, everything is just taking off.
That's a great effort from Wawrinka. So the longest game of the match, and Wawrinka levels at 3-all, and Wally's made that point. Does that take something out of Wawrinka? He's played a couple of long matches this week. He's then had to travel from Perth over to Sydney. He's been the captain of the team. He's given a lot of energy. And Zizou's just going to wait a moment. There has been a spectator that has been unwell in the stands, so they're just getting that person out of the stadium. So it just gives the players a brief pause here at the start of this 7th game. Won't be a moment. So that person is there with the medical staff here, and it's obviously an incredibly hot day. Even in the shade, you must stay hydrated in this type of weather. And so, here we are. 3-all, 3rd set, Belgium trying to level the match and take it to a mixed doubles to see who goes into the decider here at the United Cup tomorrow.
Love.
Tim, you were pretty handy with the block, the chip return. What advice could you give Stan at present on return, given the ball just seems to be taking off on him? Is it about court position?
Yeah, not a lot you can do about that. I think you just got to try and, obviously when you are using the block return, you're keeping it nice and short, you're trying to meet the ball out in front, and as much as you can try and play the ball rather than the ball playing you, and give yourself big targets when it's this difficult to control. A firm block down the middle.
40, love.
You'd certainly take that in these types of conditions.
Oh. He didn't realise where he was in the court.
40-15.
He's hit a pretty good overhead there, but I think he thought he was still more central.
Well, wouldn't you just let that one bounce? That was going to land inside the service square. Just skip back, let it bounce, and that becomes a very easy smash. A little more difficult, just tracking it as it comes out of the roof. Now there's a return from Stan.
Well, he actually got over that one. He went with the racket face not so open as you're talking about, Tim.
Yeah, it was a short swing on the backhand return, but that time Wawrinka coming over the top of the ball rather than coming underneath it. 40 love back to 40-30. That ball toss again that Wally's talked about. Long way in front, chasing it.
And he secures the game eventually. And a 4-3 lead, 3rd set.
Team Belgium leads by 4 games to 3.
Well, they're all different sorts of fans here today. It's been an excellent turnout in terms of spectators for this United Cup. A little more difficult today. I think a lot of people chosen to stay home because of the temperature. Sure, tonight though, they'll be making their way out because we've got a big clash between Team Poland and Team USA still to come here.
Time.
Jan de Witt, the coach of Zizou Bergs, in that changeover, just saying to his man, it's pretty simple from here. You get the ball, you hit it, and you start coming forward. Is that the right advice, Wally?
Well, I would say yes. I mean, in the sense that play every shot from the back of the court like you want to come in. Of course you can't, but have that intent that you're looking to make something happen. But first and foremost, as he did in the last game, Zizou Bergs, he's got to make returns. And that's not really coaching as such, just sound advice.
Left, second service.
It's great preparation off the forehand from Wawrinka, isn't it, when you watch it, because he takes the racket back and there he can go either direction, and he's been doing that so well. Once again, look at that prep. That's how you do it.
Love.
False.
40, love.
Well, the last few games we've seen everybody race away to a lead on serve, and then it's as if they relax and don't finish the game off. Sort of, okay, I've got my lead, I've got a breather. You don't want to, at this stage, relax too much. Because all of a sudden, the pressure's back on you.
40-30.
Yeah, the last 3 service games, the server has been up 40 love. On one occasion, the Wawrinka serve, Bergs got right back into the game. Can the Swiss man finish it off here? Tired move to the forehand side there from Wawrinka. A little bit laboured with the footwork. chipping that forehand into the net. And as we talked about, 40 love comes back to deuce. Needs that first serve, needs to stay aggressive.
And he finds it too.
Advantage, Team Switzerland.
If you are Bergs and you can get that return back into court, then you've got to start working your man over up the other end, corner to corner. Make it physical as you can in these rallies.
One of the few backhands we've seen Stan lift off when he's set. That's a sign of fatigue. You said it prior, Tim. There was that forehand chip where he didn't want to really know about it. So no question, some sign of fatigue now for Stan Wawrinka. Understandable.
So at break point, this would be to serve for it for Bergs, if he could get it. No, it's taken away with the ace.
Wow.
205 kilometres an hour and on the outside edge of that centre service line.
Advantage, Team Switzerland.
Just the instincts of a great match player after all these years. Hitting his spots when it matters most, the big occasion.
Use. Advantage, Team Belgium.
And Wawrinka at the end of that point just gives his legs a whack with his hand and rack as if to say, come on, work for me here.
Bergs doing a very good job of getting the ball back into play when he gets his racket on it. Another breakpoint opportunity.
Oh, clever. What a change up from Bergs, just at the right time.
Team Belgium leads by 5 games to 3.
Wow, what a change up that was. Established himself in the rally. Was staying patient with the cross-court forehand. And then all of a sudden, from behind the baseline, just comes underneath the backhand to play the drop shot. That reaction emphasised he wasn't sure whether he'd given it enough.
No, he's given himself the chance to serve for the match and take it to the mixed doubles. 5-3.
Let for service.
When we just reflect on that Wawrinka service game, To lose your serve at any time is disappointing, but from 40 love up.
But Bergs, he applied pressure over time, didn't he? Previous service game, he made a lot of balls, forcing Stan to have those 8-9 minute service games. Just started to win that physical battle, but boy, did I have my heart in my mouth with that drop shot from behind the baseline. That was audacious.
Left for service.
And when serving for it, first serve so important. 2 points away for Zizou Bergs.
Left for service.
Ball.
30-15.
Ball.
40-15.
So here we are at match point for Zizou Bergs. 2 hours, 28 minutes to be out on court. This to level for Team Belgium. And another brilliant performance from Zizou Bergs.
6-3, 6-7, 6-3.
Well, on an extremely exhausting day, temperatures above 40 degrees, we've seen a battle, and that battle will continue because it's going to be a mixed doubles to decide who goes on to play in this United Cup final. But for Zizou Bergs, it is another win and another step forward in a blossoming 2026.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see by the reaction, the energy he still has in the tank. He's absolutely delighted with that performance and that result. Such a tight match, but you felt like he had the upper hand. He was able to take that opportunity in the third set and finish things off and level the tie at 1-1.
Well, what a day it's been. 2 epic 3-set battles, one going the way of Belinda Bencic over Elise Mertens, 7-6 in the third. And I suspect both of these men will want to come out into the mixed doubles, and they'll need a bit of a break, some time to refresh and refuel. But for Zizou, a great run continues this week, and he's now with Wally Masur.
Well done, mate.
Hey, thank you.
Zizou, the other day you played a man 20 years of age. Today, somebody double that. Stan Wawrinka, an absolute legend of our sport at 40 years of age. But what a match. He took it right to you.
Yeah, damn it. You could feel you have to play a legend, you know. The guys are smart. They play with a little bit more brains than maybe the guys of 20 years old. So never underestimate those guys, man. Oh, he played really good, and I really had to battle it out today.
It's been heating up in Sydney over the last few days. It just seemed, even though the conditions were pleasant, the ball was flying. Just seemed very hard to control the return in particular.
Yeah, it was hard to control the return, and there on further, he served really good, so it was very hard for me, and his placement was really good. So to get the rhythm in that is very tough, but yeah, I'm just really happy I found a solution.
Mate, just quickly talk us through that drop shot on break point. That was brave.
Yeah, it's a good system, you know. It's something I will never decide in advance. It's just something that comes up. I just want to be ballsy, and I thought that was a way to be ballsy, and yeah, it turned out well, so good ballsy there.
You are ballsy. All right, mate, it's 1-1. Get back with your team. Let's talk mixed, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, it's been a long time since anybody's called Wally Sir, and he's a good interview, is Zizou Bergs. Having chatted with him after his last win, he really gives you exactly how he was feeling, and a lot of the times what we've been talking about, he's very aware.
Yeah, absolutely, and there was the tactical awareness there against Stan Wawrinka. I thought Wawrinka did play a smart match. He was, you know, still struggling in certain areas with that first serve percentage. It did improve. Not too much difference. First serve points won, but really came down to the breakpoint opportunities. He just felt that Bergs was creating a few more, and those 2 breaks proved decisive.
Well, when he advanced to net 77% of points won, just shows that that stat can still be used to and be very effective, because he did come in a lot. It was good tennis by Zizou Bergs, and we'll find out momentarily who will be coming out for the mixed doubles to decide who goes through to the final between Team Switzerland and Team Belgium. We'll take a break, stay with us, and come back for that next match right here on Ken Rosewall Arena. You're watching the United Cup 2026.